This is one of those kicks that just goes to the turnover zone, out wide. We haven't got a power centre half forward that's going to take the big contested grab there. We also don't have any numbers to crumb front and centre, so lower the eyes, control the footy, try and get those inside 45 kicks, and let's control the ball for the forward entry. Ends up turning into a shot on goal for Labrador. This is one where Lockie should have 5 or 6 blokes screaming at him that he's got 10 metres clear. That'll give him the confidence to one grab it every time, and then he can hit the handball out to Jaden. But what happens is no voice, fumbles once, turns the handball over. We managed to get the ball back, but then Aaron, you're just not good enough with that kick. That's got to hit every time. Kevy had heaps of space, you kicked it over his head. So we've gone from 6-on-1 where there should have been a lot of voice and good skill execution, and we cleared the ball out and turned it into a transition forward movement, and it's ended up turning into a Labrador goal. Let's get better than that. With this centre bounce, just want to keep an eye on Matty Rosier, who's got a job to do to lock down on number 6. He needs to be with him at the right time. Also, Bradley coming in off the defensive wingman needs to impact this play. So Matty Rosier got sucked in. Bradley, you need to impact that play. Okay, so let's work together. Let's work to our structures. And let's be in the right place at the right time. This is an example of blokes just not pairing off tight enough and thinking that near enough's good enough and they won't use my opponent. So Moddy, you've had a bit of a look. You thought, no, you won't use him. They will use him, mate, if you don't get within a metre of him. Giving too much space. But you're a really good man in the mark, and I really like the way you handed over the mark here to your teammate, which allowed you to pair off. But then we just had one easy hit-up target. So Lockie coming off half-back probably thought the same. Oh, they won't use him, they won't use him. And they end up getting an easy out. So everyone must lock down and pair off tight. Otherwise, you let everyone else down. This is really good by Kevy to get used here and give us plenty of run. But he needs to lower his eyes. He can hit Dunny up in the middle, who's one of our run and carry players, instead of just a long bomb to the turnover zone to nobody. You can only kick to that turnover zone if we've got a clear 1-on-0 contest that we're 100% going to win. This is an example of getting low and hard in the tackle and making them stick. Willsy, you got a job to do on number 6. You've just fired it off in there at the back of the screen, and it's allowed him to get this ball, and then you miss the tackle. And then Skip doesn't clean him up either. So if you've got a job to do, and your bloke gets it, you make sure that he gets driven into the ground. And this is the third kick to the turnover zone in the first quarter. So Matty Rosier just bombs it high to the turnover zone to a 1-on-3 contest with the Bruckman to Crumb. So it's not good enough. There's a third time in the first quarter that happened, and probably the straw that broke the camel's back and resulted in one of the biggest sprays of all time from Ricky Nolan to the group at quarter time. I think the best bit about this boundary throwing is not really the good tap and not really the clean skills of Shannon Rioli bringing him board, but I think the best bit's the way he kicks it straight into Sunker's head. So we got silence against Sunker for about 20 seconds. Good work, Shan. Everyone's pretty happy with that. This is a really good example of a young fella holding his feet and staying in the contest. Big Noble's tried to throw him to the ground. He's held his feet. He just bounces down for a second, but bounces straight up and runs off. The defenders are just stuck watching. Great execution of skills to Paddy. I wasn't real sure about Paddy's kick at first, but I think it's a little bit of Tiwi Island magic. He knew where Aussie was going to be. And then instead of just blazing away, Aussie just squares up and hits Dunny. And we all know Dunny doesn't miss goals. Really good transition, and it all started with Aaron keeping his feet and executing his skills through the midfield. We can see here how Toshi charges in, and unfortunately buckles his knee underneath him. Hopefully it's not too bad, Toshi, and your physio gets you good to go. But just some really good composure by Jaden Pryor here. Holds the mark, looks inboard, short 45, and then we pull the trigger and away we go. Really good run and carry through the middle, Smithy. Hitting up Buff, 1-on-1, and then Baden just in a brilliant spot. That's where we want him every time. And him and Buff are playing really good footy at the moment. And the nail gun, so he's called. Kicks another goal. Just want to highlight here how much we can improve as a forward line with keeping the ball in and with a bit of pressure. You see Buff's half-hearted, Dunny's half-hearted. Shannon Rioli's half-hearted. Kevy Bernacombe half-hearted. Bass jogging through the middle. Skipper half-hearted to pair off. Then Moddy half-hearted to spoil. We can get a lot better than that. A lot more pressure, a lot more intensity. When the ball gets in there, we absolutely swoop and we keep it in. Just an example here of how to man the mark properly. Matty Rosier, he's only 5 foot tall, but he becomes about 6 or 7. Bouncing around, making it hard. End result is the kick is intercepted by Moddy and we score a goal. So we've turned a defensive move into a attacking move and we get a goal. So well done, Moddy, for finishing, but really good work, Rosier. So continuing on here where we do the small things, the little things to help our teammates out. Ez just protects the inside shoulder here so he can't come inboard. Does it again. Really works hard to get into that inside shoulder, pushes him towards the boundary. Jack Lawler does the same, pushes him towards the boundary and eventually it goes over the boundary line and we get another stoppage and we can set up with our structures. So really good work by Lawler, but especially Snoop Dogg. Excellent. So we don't want to just be picking on the negatives in this match review, but these little areas we can get better at. No ruckman at this boundary throwing at all. And it happened because of a rotation, so we need to get that rotation time a bit smarter. Paul Vass has to go up in the ruck. Vass won nearly every hard ball get for us on the weekend. With him up in the ruck, we've got no one to win that ground ball. They get a goal. These little things can improve us even more. So just rotation times and a bit of talk. Good example of how ruthless we can be. VV competes. Skipper makes it hard. Toshi pushes his man out of the way. Smithy's wearing his like a glove. And it allows Jack Lawler to scoop it up and run and carry. Kick in the grass, we really need the forwards pushing hard and creating leads, which Brownie does here. Ends up with a 3-on-1, but just through him competing as hard as he can, forces a stoppage. That's gone from one of their forward entries into a stoppage on the wing. We can set up our structures. Really great team effort.